I mean, we were doing a lot of other things, so it's not like we pursued this journey purposefully. I mean, we were little too at the time, granted. I mean, our names probably would have been, you know, Purple Ponies or whatever. And so,
like purple.
Mom had grown up doing sports. Dad had grown up doing FFA and into agriculture.
Music was like, hey, we'll just give you another thing to do to
another activity.
help your brain.
How instruments came about.
Yeah.
Mama had taken at least 3 years of piano growing up. We had been given a piano from my dad's side of the family that was in our house more as a furnishing decoration tool.
It was from our great-grandparents.
I thought it was our great-great-grandma. Piano's over 100 years old. Mom's plan was to start all 3 of us on piano because she had at least had 3 years of piano and she knew what a treble clef was and a bass clef was.
She could get Callie through the first Alfred book.
Since I was the firstborn, I started piano. But the funny story is that in the beginning, I had a love-hate relationship with my instrument. I was the child that wanted to play everything perfectly. I was crushed when I sat down at the piano and I could not play the song perfectly the first time. It was a struggle in the beginning. The first 2 years, we spent like 30 minutes crying at the piano and like 10 minutes of practice. There would be times Mom would be sitting crying with me because she was like ready to be done with piano. Mrs. Cornelius, the lady who we told you we went to start singing with, she encouraged Mom every voice lesson. There was a pep talk right after it.
Oh yeah.
Just continue Callie on piano. Piano fits Callie's voice. I so wish my parents would have made me continue with piano. Just don't give up. Don't give up. And this was like a 2-3 year process. And boy, am I like thrilled that mom was faithful and did not let me quit. Because now I absolutely love it. I love creating on it. I love playing it. But it had to be something we really did pray that God would place the desire and the joy in my heart. He miraculously did. And so when it came Casey's turn, she hit first grade.
Yes.
It was her turn to start piano.
We all started an instrument
in first grade.
So it came about, first grade was coming up.
Biblical. So it came about.
First grade was coming up. Mom's like, all right, piano for you too. And I just kind of dug my heels into the dirt.
For a year.
Like, no.
And that was for 2 years.
I was not going to learn piano. I was going to learn how to play the fiddle like Pa did on Little House on the Prairie. Now I watch him and I'm just like cringing on the inside because it's like, woo! And Mom's like, I don't even know where to look for a teacher. I mean,
Mom was trying to talk her out of it for like 2 years.
But I was persistent and consistent. We met my teacher in the church parking lot. I started violin with her, and it just kind of...
It fit Casey's personality perfectly.
We transitioned into homeschooling, and then Cambry did her instrument, picked her instrument.
I had always liked going fast. It didn't matter what it was, I just liked going fast. And so for a while, I would and that was the same way about my choice of instruments. I would stay on one instrument for like a day, and then the next day I'd be like, oh, I want to play the clarinet. And then one day I'd be like, oh, I want to play the guitar. Next day, I want to play drums. And the drums lasted for like a week.
Oh,
so that was probably the longest. But Mom's like, you're not playing the drums. I do not care. You are not playing the drums. But we would go sing sometimes before a concert for a ministry called Spreading the Word Ministries, and they would bring in Southern gospel groups. One time they brought in this family called the Isaacs, and they're this bluegrass Southern gospel group. There's 3 siblings and a mom. So the middle child, Sonia, she played the mandolin, and she was playing really fast on her instrument, and I was like, Mom, I want to play the mandolin. And it was sticking for a while, so Mom's like, okay, I'm just going to do it. She's like, I have no idea where I'm going to get a teacher, but I'm going to do it because this is the only instrument that you're actually sticking with right now. And we're just going to do it. We got a rental mandolin. I started learning it.
But that kind of tells the story of our instruments And we used to hold recitals where Mom would just invite, like, the pastor, really close friends, grandparents.
Yeah.
And we would just play in the church parlor. And she would...
up some songs to sing.
Yep. So, the point is Mom would bake cookies. And we were still at the Christian school when this was going on. And she bought all this cookie dough.
In November.
In November, because she was going to use it in May. You know, November goes by, December goes by, January goes by, February, and like March, April, comes to April, and she walks in the house, Dad's sitting there, just eating a tub of cookie dough on the couch, and she goes, Richard, what are you doing? He goes, it's been in there for 6 months, okay?
He thought she was.
If you would have cooked it, you would have cooked it. So
those cookies were meant for our little recital,
Yes.
but they ended up going in Dad's stomach. So we didn't start playing together till Cambry's mandolin teacher actually suggested, hey, let's try to get them in there and start playing together.
that
And
was sooner than what Mom had planned.
yeah, I mean, we were young. We started
Dumb and chummy.
chubby.
Chummy.
Chum.
Wrong word!
We didn't start playing till quite a bit later after we had started singing.
We have a clip of like one of the first songs we put together, Amazing Grace, and I'll put it in here. That way y'all can hear it. That's Callie singing, by the way. Yeah.
I mean, from the very beginning, Mama was determined that we would use our gifts
Yeah.
to serve others. Number one, to glorify God, and to use music as an avenue to share about the Lord. I mean, Mama drilled that into us, that we would offer our very best for whoever was there, even if there was one person there. One place in particular, the Veteran Center in Clinton, we went there faithfully.
Almost every month.
But we would sing in like their big church service where they would wheel in all the wheelchairs and such, and we would sing to those men. But then we would be taken back into the Alzheimer's unit.
We would go to the different wings.
Yeah, to the different wings
Upstairs.
inside the Veteran Center. We would go and we would minister, and let me tell you what, there is no one who's going to love on your children than the older generation of saints. Those older people loved on us, encouraged us to keep singing. If we would mess up, they would clap for us and tell us it was okay, that they still loved us, and for us to try again.
So we were going to church, and our music minister, John Gerber,
So when he approached Mom, if we
Right.
sang, he asked if we had a name. And Mom had been keeping this to herself.
she didn't even let us girls know.
I mean, our names probably would have been, Purple Ponies or whatever. And so,
'Cause I didn't like purple.
so he asked Mom, if we sang, and Mom said yes. And then he asked Mom if we had a name. And Mom had been praying, and she had felt like, actually not too far before, that the Lord had given her a name. She said, Threefold Chord. And that is where we got our first name. Mom got that name out of the verse Ecclesiastes 4:12. Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Mom even had us memorize it in
Yep.
parts.
We sung on Sunday nights at our church, and that audience was mainly made up of the older saints.
Yep.
And that was so important. John Gerber, the music minister at our church at the time, was so instrumental. Him and his wife, Mitch, were so instrumental in
His wife
encouraging
played the
Mom.
organ, and he led
The singing.
And he strove for excellence.
Yes, and he would make us strive for excellence.
Yes.
He started us on Sunday nights, and I can remember when he he put us down to sing on a Sunday morning,
We were so excited.
we were so excited. We knew what an honor that
yes.
was, because
We had started at the bottom and we had to work our way to the top, and it wasn't just like something bestowed upon you just because
he
you're
taught
young
us,
and you can sing,
he taught us how to work for excellence.
and how to be humble. So
Very instrumental in encouraging and giving Mom direction with us.
he was the
Yes.
one. So, new part of the story.